Hello world, hello world. Welcome back to my channel. Call me Biz. George Carlin. I kind of like it when a lot of people die. That's such a that's such a George Carlin title, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, shout out to George Carlin. I've been doing interviews of George Carlin. I've been doing different comedians talking about George Carlin, and a lot of his bits. He has so many, and I feel like a lot of people on YouTube, they titled them different things. So, but one of my subscribers have been telling me to do this one for a while, and it's been on my list for a while. I haven't done it mainly because of the length, but I'm just gonna chop it up. I'm not sure if it's gonna be 2 parts or 3 parts. We gonna see, all right? Look, let me know what's next from George Carlin. Also, if you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you like the video. No more ghost watching, all right? Let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome George Carlin?
The legend.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. When did this country turn into a nation of rats and squealers? Have you noticed this? Last 10, 15 years, rats and squealers and snitches, people spying on each other, turning each other in, call them the tipster hotline. If you see a crime, call the tipster hotline. Let me tell you something, it's not the tipster hotline, it's the rats and squealers hotline.
Fucking
But they
snitches.
called it that. You know how many people would use it? Yeah, lots of them. People have no principles anymore. We're living in a nation of stool pigeons. How am I driving? Call 1-800 and squeal on the truck driver.
Yeah.
Sounds like a small thing, but it's not. It's an open invitation to be a rat. And that's what people are turning into. They cooperate with prosecutors, for Christ's sakes. Prosecutors, the worst kind of dishonest swine ever to crawl out of the devil's asshole. Just the worst fucking humans.
Not the
And
devil's
people
asshole.
make deals with them. They plea bargain. They betray their friends just to stay out of jail. And that's what happened to those poor guys in the mafia. They sold each other out. Shit, when I was a kid, we looked up to the mafia. We admired and respected those guys because they had a
All
code
snitches.
of silence. No one talked, ever. Now they squeal on each other, make a book deal, buy a fake mustache, and move to Pocatello, Idaho.
Their wives
You know
got
something? They
TV
deserve
shows.
fucking Pocatello, Idaho.
Pocatello,
And
Idaho.
speaking of places where people blow cows, let me ask you a question. I got a question. You remember
I
those
don't do that.
militia assholes? You remember those patriotic nitwits said they didn't recognize the authority of the federal government? They had a flag with a serpent on it, said, "Don't tread on me." Well, the flag should have said, "Don't squeal on me," because first chance they got, 2 of them testified for the government against their friends just to stay out of jail. Never mind the
Disloyal,
serpent. You know
man.
what that flag should have had on it? A rat. A nice big brown diseased sewer rat fucking the serpent in the ass.
Fucking
And
rodent.
both of them wearing camouflage fatigues. We got no heroes anymore in this country. There's no heroes. Timothy Leary turned in people to the FBI. Elvis Presley was a snitch for the DEA. The only hero I've seen recently was Susan McDougal. She told Ken Starr to go get fucked, and she went to jail for 2 years for it. That's what I call being a hero. And by the way, Clinton must have thrown her a pretty good hump to get loyalty like that, don't you think so? Huh? Good for her. Good for her. And good for him. I'm glad he got away with everything he got away with. And the worst part of this snitch shit is these people who squeal on their families. You know,
Oh,
parents
that's the
spying on their kids,
worst.
searching their rooms for drugs, and the kids are no better. Did you ever read about one of these dumbass kids turns his parents in for having some drugs in the house? Shit, how stupid can you get? You don't turn in the people who are buying the food, asshole. Think it through.
A world full of bitch ass.
Squealing on your family. Theodore Kaczynski, the Unabomber, one of my personal heroes, by the way. You bet your ass. He was turned in by his own brother. You don't do that. You don't turn in your brother or your parents or your kids, no matter what they're doing, even if they're selling drugs and killing people. Whatever happened to family values? In fact, you should never cooperate with the police ever at any time for any reason. Fuck the police. Fuck the police. Let them solve some crimes on their own.
Let them do their
They
job.
rely too much on jailhouse snitches, unsolved mysteries, and America's Most Wanted to get other people to solve their crimes. They turn good citizens into vigilantes and bounty hunters, lower than a snake's ball bag. The mafia knew how to handle squealers in the old days. When I was a kid, there was a famous bank robber by the name of Willie Sutton. Everybody loved Willie. He was running from the police, you know, and one day he's riding the subway in New York City, and a private citizen, some civic-minded prick named Arnold Schuster, spotted Willie and turned him into the police. But Albert Anastasia, a mafia boss, read about it in the newspapers, and he had Arnold Schuster killed, which is just what the yellow rat motherfucker deserved.
Damn.
You don't help the police. When I was a kid, we went to the movies, we rooted against the police. Against the police and for the crooks, and I still do. I love the crooks. I don't give a shit if they come to my house and kill my entire family. I'm on their side. I'd rather spend 16 hours stuck in an elevator with a couple of crooks than even say hello to a fucking policeman. You don't help the police. They're not on your side. Don't you understand this shit yet?
Yo, they're like
they work
HR.
for the state.
Yeah,
They'll plant
they're
fake
not on your
evidence.
side.
They'll put a loaded gun in the hands of an unarmed man they've shot to death. They harass minorities. They brutalize people. They deny people their rights, and they lie about it all in court all the time. They perjure themselves routinely, but they don't squeal on each other. They're not rats.
That's
So
their
take a page
number
from
one
their
rule.
book, but never ever help them. And
You never
above all,
tell.
don't plea bargain by turning in a friend. Tell you what, some of you religious people out here, you religious folks, on Judgment Day, when you see God, ask him if you can plea bargain. Ask him if you turn in your family, will he let you into heaven? You know what he'll say? He'll say, go to hell. He'll say, go to hell, you fucking squealing prick. Because even God hates a rat.
No heaven for no rat.
You know what Jesus should have done? He should have beat the shit out of Judas. Just grabbed him by the beard and beat the shit out of him. Right in front of the other apostles. Make an example out of him. You fucking squealing prick, Judas, you cocksucker. You realize I could turn you into a fucking pillar of salt if I want? Turn you into a fucking monkey. Or I can be a fucking monkey. Where's the money? Where's the fucking $30? Give me the $30. I'm fucking buying beer for the rest of these guys.
Give me the
But they didn't
$30.
fucking rat on you, you prick.
Get some wine.
But he didn't do that. He didn't do that. You know why? You know why he didn't do that? Because he believed in all this goofy love bullshit. But you notice something else. He did not plea bargain with the Romans. And he didn't squeal on the apostles, you know? He kept his big fucking yap shut, and he took what was coming to him. We can all learn something from Jesus, even if it's not what we're expecting.
Yo, I agree, man. Yo,
Thank you.
He's spitting.
I appreciate that, boy.
My boy's spitting. He's spitting.
Excuse my allergy, but it's a better reason for blowing my nose on stage than I used to have.
Oh.
And a lot less expensive.
A little bit of cocaine.
Well, after a while, you do kind of grow up, you know? You realize that, well, a couple of lines of cocaine make you feel like a new man. Problem is, first thing the new man wants, a couple of lines of cocaine. You know? So that's like looking in the barbershop mirror. Now, here's something that bothers me. Surprise. When I'm flying first class and some guy from Coach comes up and takes a shit in our bathroom, you know? Don't you hate that? I say, get back to your filthy Coach toilet with the tampon sticking out of the commode. Don't be coming up here and trying to upgrade your feces.
Yeah, that's some
Your
petty
super
shit.
saver feces. Well, I think most people know by now, caviar feces smell much nicer than bologna sandwich feces. It's unfortunate, you don't like to tell people the truth, you don't want to point out class distinctions, but it's true. It's a function of socioeconomics. It's called the fecal differential. It has to do with diet as it relates to income. The lower the income, the worse the diet, the more disgusting the feces. And the
that
same
is
thing
true.
applies
That
to
is true.
farts. And the worst farts of all, the most horrendous farts in the whole travel experience can be found in the economy section of any plane coming in from the third world. It is fucking torture back there, folks. Underdeveloped country farts. Those people have farts that could kill cancer.
I don't
The
agree.
kind of fart that comes in handy if you have something that needs welding.
They have more natural foods, though.
The kind of fart that if you let one go at home, 30 minutes later, your plants are all yellow. The kind of fart that after 2 or 3 days, you realize there are no more birds in your neighborhood.
Damn, not
A
the
fart
birds.
that would eat the stitching out of Levi's. Can I get away with one more fart joke here?
Yeah, go ahead. One
The
more.
kind of fart whereby the Centers for Disease Control declares your pants a level 5 biohazard. And what happens is, in these third world flights, in the economy section, about an hour after the meal service, they quite often have these life-threatening fart emergencies. The FAA calls them TFIs, toxic flatulence incidents. The airlines call them code browns. Just as a hospital has a code blue, airlines have code brown, code brown. If you ever hear that, do not inhale. You are in a code brown. And the worst place to be is in the last 3 rows. Because what happens is these planes get flying so fast that all the most vicious, lethal, volatile, flammable, unstable farts get pushed toward the back of the airplane where they begin to build up pressure. And they build and they build and they build until they reach critical fart density, CFD. And they continue to build throughout the flight until finally some kid turns on a Game Boy and boom! The whole back end of the plane blows off. And you know who gets blamed? Osama bin Laden.
Wow. I didn't see that.
Terrorists get blamed for these explosions that are nothing more than cabbage fart detonations. And the FBI doesn't know. FBI doesn't know what to do. They're looking for explosives. They should be looking for minute traces of rice and bok choy. These are the kind of thoughts that kept me out of the really good schools. And prevented me from moving swiftly up the corporate ladder. Because I was always complaining about something, you know? Always finding fault. You know something I'm getting tired of? Songs. There's too many fucking songs.
What?
That's all you ever hear, songs.
Can never
You know
get
how many
tired of
songs there
songs.
are? Okay, every year 25,000 CDs come out, okay? 25,000. So even if you throw out half the titles and say they're old songs being re-recorded, and you stay very conservative and you say, well, 8 songs to a CD, that's still 100,000 songs every year. Every year, and that's just this country. There's about 185 other countries out there, all of them pumping out songs.
Why
Probably
not?
not a lot of snappy tunes coming out of Rwanda these days. But some, there's gotta be some. I'm telling you, it adds up. I'll bet you anything that if you counted every song ever written in the history of the world, in every culture since the beginning of time, by now, there's gotta be 10 million songs.
I think
10
more than
million
that.
songs.
Way more than that.
They're not enough. Don't we have enough fucking songs for you people?
Nah.
You're telling me you're standing in the shower and with 10 million songs out there, you can't think of something to sing? You gotta have a new song? And they're all love songs. That's all you ever hear is a fucking love song. Can't somebody write a song about something else? Everything's a broken heart, broken heart, broken heart. Fuck that. What about a fractured cheekbone? How about a punctured lung, huh? Wouldn't you like to see some good-looking chick with long hair and big tits stand up on stage singing about a punctured lung?
That's why people
Sure
love
make my
rap.
fucking weekend.
Rappers rap about
No
everything.
one is writing these songs. How about a song about a fire in a nursing home? Huh? All right, a daycare center. Okay, a church.
No, not
A crowded church. How about a song about a guy who gets his legs caught in a wood chipping machine? Here's a nice song. Family of 4 comes home from vacation at Disney World and finds 27 bodies decomposing in the living room. And they all have on Santa Claus suits. I'm telling you, we're passing up a lot of really good topics that would make terrific fucking songs. Like cancer. I know it's touchy. Fuck you.
There's
Cancer
a lot
would
of
make a
songs
really
about
great
cancer.
song. Shit, everybody's got cancer. Nobody's singing about it. Here is a market niche being deliberately overlooked. And by the way, tuberculosis is coming back too. Here's another musical opportunity. Wouldn't you like to hear a song with a whole lot of coughing in it? You never hear these kind of songs. You never hear that. Everything's a love song. It's always emotional pain, you know. You know something? The last thing I'm interested in is someone else's emotional pain. Don't be singing about your pain. Unless it's cancer pain. You could do a whole CD. First cut is cancer. Second cut, tuberculosis. 3.5 minutes, solid coughing. Starts out slow with the introduction to the song. Guy's just clearing his throat. Then you go to the first verse. Kind of a dry cough, non-productive. You get in the second verse, the song begins to build. Now you're in the chorus, and the guy's coughing louder and louder and harder and harder, and he's choking and gasping and wheezing and panting, and you can hear the fluids in his lungs, and he's doubled over and he's running out of breath, and finally he gets into one big, huge, uncontrollable, spasmodic coughing fit, and he gags and pukes all over the microphone. That would be the climax to the song. And maybe you could make it interactive with a CD-ROM, and the guy could puke right into your living room.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you probably need special speakers for that. I don't know, I'm not into the technical stuff. I'm more of an idea man. I'm a concept guy. You know what I am? I'm a visionary.
Hey.
I'm a fucking visionary. I'm always thinking about something. I'm always fucking thinking.
Me too.
Especially when I'm alone, you know? Now, you're probably saying to yourselves, what the fuck does this guy think about when he's alone? If this is the shit he's willing to talk about in public, what kind of garbage floats through his head when he's home?
I could imagine.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
I could
Fair
imagine.
question, I'll tell you what I think about. You know what I think about when I'm alone? The first enema. Huh? Yeah. I don't think about it all the time, you know. But a lot. Maybe 30, 40 times a day.
Damn,
That's not too much, is it?
That's a lot.
I don't dwell on it.
I don't think of anything that
It's just a
much.
quick thought. But let me ask you this. Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think about the first enema? No. You know why? No vision. No fucking vision. Me, I'm a visionary. I'm always thinking about something, you know. That's when I thought about the first enema. Here's how it happened. Me and my friend were giving each other an enema, you know. What? He's my friend. Leon. Hey, what good is a friend that can't give you an occasional enema, huh? So me and Leon are giving each other an enema this day. And at this particular point, it was my turn, so I was kind of relaxed, you know. I was draped over the end of the living room couch there. And I'm reading the food section of the newspaper. Always looking for a good veal recipe.
What
you know?
is an enema?
I'm looking through there. We're talking
What-
back and
what
forth.
is
Me
he
and
talking
Leon,
about?
we're talking about hockey. We're talking about the NASDAQ. We're talking about how sometimes if you rub your eyes real hard, you can see kind of a checkerboard pattern, you know. And suddenly, out of the blue, I turn to Leon. Well, I couldn't turn all the way around. But over my shoulder, I says, "Hey, Leon, I wonder whoever came up with the first enema." Well, he flipped. He had never thought of such a thing. He practically dropped the equipment he was holding. And that thing is heavy. It's a fire hose. Number 12 with a zoom nozzle. But it leaves you feeling really refreshed. So we started talking about the first enema. Because when you think about it, there had to be a first enema. There had to be a first one. Everything has to happen once for the first time. Some guy,
I gotta Google that shit.
just sitting there had to think of the enema. And I'm sure it was a guy. This does not sound like a lady's thought. Some guy. He's a long time ago, this guy, probably making spear tips or some shit. Sitting there carving a fertility fetish for his girlfriend, something like that. Suddenly he thinks to himself, you know something? I think it would be a really great idea if I would squirt a whole bunch of water up my ass. And then just let it all run out. I'll bet I would feel a whole lot better if I did that. And then, after he thought of it, dig this. After he thought of it, he had to explain it to the other people. And test it. Something like that, you're gonna wanna test it. You probably wanna test it on someone else. I'm sure you wouldn't try it on yourself.
Nah, you
But wouldn't
can't
that
try
be
it on
subtle?
yourself.
Don't you think you need kind of a subtle approach? Hey, Joey, turn around. I got a surprise for you. Turn around. Whoops, I dropped my rock. Would you pick it up for me, please?
Oh, my
Thank
God.
you. Hold still. Okay, relax. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, Joey. Through your mouth, please. No, through your mouth, Joey, please. These are new shoes. Okay, relax.
These are
It's a new
new
thing,
shoes.
Joey. It's called the enema. Yeah, I thought of today during lunch. That's right, I had the veal. Tell the truth, Joey. Did you like it a little bit, huh? Yeah, I kind of got a kick out of it myself. You want to go again? I'm only kidding you. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to. That was pineapple juice and sand. Joey, guess what? We're engaged. I'm only kidding you. Look, I gotta go home and wash off my legs. I'll see you at the dance. Okay? Some guy had to think of it. How? Why? Why would it even enter your fucking mind? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you, because the guy was thinking big. Guy was a visionary.
There was a
Probably
problem.
made a fortune.
That
It's
needed
a big business
solving.
now. Colonic irrigation, they call it. Big in California. Everybody in that state squirting something up somebody's ass. And getting paid for it.
Had to be Cali.
You know what I'm waiting for? Enemas online. Electronic digital enemas.
Oh,
They'll
that.
have it. You watch. Some guy's home tonight. e.nema.com/pineapple juice. Some visionaries home tonight trying to get a mouse in his ass. Probably a Macintosh guy, you know? You're always ahead of the curve. Yeah. Good ideas, good fucking ideas. As usual tonight, I've been doing a lot of complaining, a lot of criticizing.
I'm gonna stop it right there. I don't want this video to be too long. Man, he said a lot. He said a lot. I didn't even know what an enema was. I had to look it up. It said a procedure where they put, he explained it, you know. I didn't know what that was. I'm like, what is he talking about? When I looked it up, it made it 10 times funnier. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, somebody did have to think of that. And when you think about it, there had to be a first person that went through the procedure. But I like how he started in the beginning blazing, man. Yes, a lot of people do snitch on their family. Like, snitching is big, but plea deal, when you take here's my thing when it comes to snitching, right? If you're involved, like if you consciously, if you're involved in something and you rat out the other people that was involved with you to get out of that situation, I feel like you are the lowest of the lowest. Like, that's like, y'all all gotta do that time. But here's the thing though. Let's say this. Because your homies could put you in a bad situation. Let's say this, right? You just got out of jail, you on parole, you can't have guns around you, and you let your friend know, hey, you ain't got no gun in your backpack. I'm finna pick you up for this ride to go to wherever. You can't have no gun in my car. You can't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm on parole, blah, because a lot of niggas get caught up that way. And you pick homie up, homie got a gun in his backpack, y'all get stopped, and he don't say that's his gun. I feel like that's some bitch ass nigga shit, even though I still don't condone the snitching. But if you tell me that's the situation, I'll let it slide, because first of all, that motherfucker don't give a fuck about you. You feel me? A lot of niggas get caught up that way. A lot of niggas get caught up in the, I'm not gonna snitch, but it's really somebody else put you in that situation, but you can't snitch on them because, you know, you don't want to be called a rat. Snitching is snitching though. You still a rat, but you feel me? But I could understand that type of rat, I ain't gonna give him no grief like I would give the other rat. But ratting is ratting, so that's why, I mean, it's best to stay to yourself, man. If you're gonna do a crime, commit that shit on your own, for real. Like, you never snitch on your family. That's another thing that's crazy. I remember my cousin, she asked me, she's like, if your son committed murder, would you snitch on him? I'm like, man, that's a tough situation. I would have snitched on them, but like, murder is murder. You feel me? I don't think I would snitch, but at the same time too, think about it. You raise somebody that would kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? That gotta do something to you. I wouldn't call the cops and be like, oh, my son and blah, blah, blah. But if the cops come in and they searching the crib, I ain't hiding nobody. That's a fact. I ain't hiding nobody that commit murder. I feel like, to me, murder and the R word are the worst things you could do on this earth, and I don't think anyone should condone it. I don't think you should call the cops on them, but I do think, hey man, if you do those two things, whatever happened to you, happened to you. I have nothing to do with that shit. I ain't hiding nobody. I ain't doing none of that. Like, if you commit those two things. Other things, yeah. Other things, you rob a store, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I might could hide you. Hey, I don't know what this person is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm all the while, they're in my basement somewhere. But if you do those two things, yeah, you could come to the crib. But when the cops come out and be like, yo, I don't know anything, blah, blah, blah. But I ain't hiding nobody. That's a fact. I ain't hiding nobody. If you do those two things. If you do those, and if you are somebody that's helping somebody get away with those two things, you can't even be around me, because I don't respect it. You feel me? But yo, he came out shooting, man. To me, this feels like one long ass rant. That's what this feels like. I can't wait to hear the second part. So I'm gonna see y'all in the second part. So it's only gonna be 2 parts. At first, I didn't know where I was gonna stop this, but he was going in, man. I didn't know where to stop him. I didn't even feel like stopping him. He was going in. So I'm gonna record the other one right after this. I just didn't want the video to be so long, like a 40-minute long video. So yeah. So if you made it this far, let me know what you think about it so far. Like the video if you like the video, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one. All right, yeah, I'll see you in part 2. You better be there. Peace.